Recently, we looked at Windows Live, which gives us all of the tools to sort of meld our lives and our computer and the internet all together. Well, I want to return for a bit to Windows Live now as we talk about recapturing the joy of photography. We've talked a lot about printing our photos to share them today, but there's another way to share our photos, and that is through the internet. Social networking sites have blossomed in popularity, and for a good reason. Now, we visited Facebook and MySpace in past episodes, but today I want to show you Spaces. Spaces is Microsoft's social networking site, and it's got some really great benefits, especially if you embrace the whole Windows Live world. And one of those benefits is getting a free Spaces account with your Windows Live ID. And another benefit is accessing your Spaces page in a lot of different ways. So let's start with accessing it through Windows Live Messenger. Inside the chat window are all sorts of communication tools, including getting straight into our email. But if I look here, I can also go to my Windows Live Spaces account. And now this is a social networking site that's free with your Windows Live ID. You use the same ID, you use your same Hotmail address to get in here. And this is a place that your friends and family can come and see what's going on in your life. And you can share in one place all of your photos that you want to share with all of your friends and family, and gives them one place to come, as well as your opinion and some other things like that. So if we look along the top, we find that we have photos here. And since we're all about photos today, I'm going to dive right into the photo area. Now, in any social networking site, you can usually share your photos, and you can create photo albums and share them so friends can see them. And typically speaking, you're going to follow this same process for uploading your photos, because we want to be able to share easily. So there's a web client here that allows us to add an album. When I click on that and add photos, it then tunnels me down into my computer and allows me to use this web client to select photos from my Pictures area and upload them by selecting them with little selection boxes like this up to the internet. You know, this is a way that's done. It's tried and true, but it's really not the most effective way of doing things, because we don't spend all of our time managing our photos in a web client. Instead, we spend our time managing our photos in our photo management tool. Now, last show we showed you Windows Live Photo Gallery, which is turning out to be an excellent photo management tool. We can color correct our photos, we can tag them, we can orient them, we can organize them into files and folders. So I'm going to be using this a lot more than I'm going to be in a web client. So wouldn't it be great if I could just select the photos that I want to share on the internet from within this interface and then publish them to the internet? That's what Windows Live is all about. So here's some photos that I took when I was in a fishing escapade in Newfoundland. And I just want to take these photos here, and I say, I want to share these, and I want to share them with my friends. So instead of having to go into the web client, go back, navigate my way back down and find those photos, when I'm working on them here, I can just click on Publish at the top, publish them into my Windows Live Spaces account, and then it will even name them based on the photo album that they're coming from, which I'm happy with. I can add to an existing album if I want. And look at this other option. Optimize photos for printing. Because a lot of times when we send photos up onto the internet, they're not for people to just view on the internet, but grandma and granddad or our cousins or our friends might want to download those and print those photos themselves, because we still like having prints. We've been talking about that a lot today. You can optimize these photos for printing. It's going to upload larger files that aren't optimized for web browsing, but are instead optimized to be printed off on a printer. Once you've chosen that, you click Publish, and then the photos are uploaded to you automatically, and we'll see the result in a moment. I want to return for a second to this idea of uploading your photos to a web account as opposed to emailing large format photos to your friends and family. Everybody gets frustrated when they receive large attachments coming in email. It clogs up your system, it takes forever to receive your email, and sometimes you just don't want to print off the photos anyways. So having your large resolution photographs up on the web where people can download them, just the photos they want to print themselves, is a much more effective and much more polite way of sharing your photos for printing. Once it's all done, we're almost there. We can view the album. So it will now bring us into our page and allow us to see how the album's going to look to our friends who visit it. And as you can see, we can go through, we can have a slideshow, we can play each photo, check it out, make sure that exactly the ones that we want to have up. We can remove individual photographs if we want. And of course, if these were in high resolution, our friends could download them for printing. This is a really nice way to share your photos. And you can share things besides photos. For example, you can share your opinion. You can have your own blog. People can come and hear your views on everything from the social economic world to how your favorite sports team is doing. You can have your very own blog. One of my favorite things is the ability to manage events. If you're planning a birthday party, even if you're just planning a little dinner for friends to get together, a potluck dinner, you can do all of that planning here online. People will have maps, they'll have times, they'll know exactly what they're supposed to be bringing. If it's a costume party, they'll know what the dress code is. You can do all those sorts of things from a social networking site. Now, social networking sites are ways to become more engaged in our friends' and families' lives. If you manage your site properly, it can be a place people come to reconnect with you. They can find out what's happening in your life and keep up with new joys and sorrows. It's far more efficient use of your time to do a single update of your site with your thoughts and your photos than to write multiple emails to all your friends telling essentially the same stories several times over again while attaching the same photos. Time, like friends, is a precious commodity. And social networking sites help you be better friends.